Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Masters of Assetto Corsa Competizione. We are at race 7 at Mount Panorama today, and I would like to welcome you. My name is Alex, and as you can hear, my voice is a bit messed up, I would say. Today I got a cold. I'm not feeling too good, but I think I'm gonna be fine for this stream. Today we have a 75 minutes race, and I'm just gonna go ahead and check what is the temperature on track. We have 21 degrees and 15 degrees outside temperature. That's actually a bit fresh. Michael, good to see you here. I tried to practice a bit as well with these temperatures, and I realized that I couldn't get my tires warm, and also it's not one of my favorite tracks, honestly. Michael, thank you very much. No problem. I do enjoy doing it. So yeah, a very, very difficult track, very technical, very fast on two straights actually, and there are no track limits on this track. I mean, there is a limit, and that is the wall. And if you are in the wall, then you basically get your penalty by standing in the pits for some more seconds. Before we go into the qualifying session, let's take a little look at the current standings. So starting with the pros. Starting with the pros. We have Nico Weltmann in P1. After the last race, he broke his streak a little bit. Everybody said he should be P6 in the 6th race, but that wasn't the case. So 292 points. It actually is quite a good lead that he has on Benjamin Eck in P2. Then we have Horacio Messina in P3 with 10 points of gap. Amir Casetarash in P4. Jen Urso in P5. Kenneth Reyes in P6. Barry Gibbons in P7, only with 1 point of difference. So good chance that we will see some changes there. We have Michael Firth on track or in the chat. I don't really. Yeah, he's missing today. I can see it. No, that's okay. Apparently he didn't have the time to practice. No, he doesn't like the track. In P9 we have Stu Rogers. P10 Davy Hill. In P11 Jaden Eckering, also there with a tight gap. And the rest of them withdrew from the race. In the AMS we have Shubham Biswas with 90, almost 90 points of a lead. Sorry, it's 80 points, isn't it? Yeah, it's 80 points. Almost 80 points. Eric Griffith in P2. Jake Deschamps in P3. Jason Janssens in P4. Giuseppe Messina in P5. And then we have Ibrahim Dickman in P6. Cora Sebastian in P7. In the midfield, there might actually be some changes happening here between P8 and P5, if I see that correctly. Yeah, math is not my strength, as you might have noticed. We have Dario Brems in P8, Jorgen Verlinden in P9, Anil Uchinchuolu in P10. Then we have Derek Cole in P11, George Kaliris in P12, and the reason why I said Jason Janssens so harshly in the beginning is because we also have Jeffrey Janssens here in P13. As far as I know, they are brothers. Then we have Federico Alberti, who is now taking part in the race. I have seen him on track already. We have Harry Alexander in P15. We have Lee Roll in P16. We have Greg Lever in P17. And then let's see if any. Thomas Wong, I think I saw him on track in P19. And then Jarne van Kovenberg in P20. Not sure if he's there. So yeah, because I mentioned it earlier, I said, the game sometimes just shows me Jay Janssens. And that can apply to Jason Janssens and to Jeffrey Janssens. But I realized one of them is driving the McLaren and the other one is driving the Ford. So technically I should be able to differentiate the two. as a commentator. But yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes it's just very difficult, no? And we are having the AM drivers out on track already. Let's see who we will look at. Dario Brems is on track, and I will show you the broadcasting times. You can see the gaps. Just for new viewers that might be there, on the left side, the drivers that have the red numbers are the AM category, and the white ones are the Pro category. I just realized that you didn't have any sound until now. I'm so sorry for that. Ah, there we are. Ah, there's some sound. I hope it's not too loud for you. So, what I was saying, on the left side of your screen you can see the standings, and you will also see the gaps in between the drivers. The red number plates are the amateur drivers, and the white ones are the pro drivers. They're on two completely different races, so the score will be calculated separately. Though also there is no reason to fight each other, even though now here on Bathurst it can be quite tight. So I'm quite excited for this race. Yeah, Tom, it's a very tricky track, and I've been driving the McLaren, and basically the McLaren just tries to kill you here. When I was driving the BMW earlier, it was a bit better. Tom, is it too loud, the cars, or is it okay? So we have Jason here, who took the provisional pole with a lap time of 2 minutes, 2 seconds and 382 milliseconds. Yeah, as I said earlier, we have Thomas Wong taking part in the race today. At the moment, P2. Also Federico Alberti, who I think qualified in P1. Oh, you can't see the game. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I am an idiot. Ah, there we are. Look, this is what we are. Sorry, this is what we are expecting. I'm sorry, guys. I forgot to change the screen. I hope you still heard me talk at least. I think that was quite a good picture that we switched to. That's why it was written, I can't see cars, and I was like, okay, I thought it is it's a joke, you know, because Tom said it's loud, and then Michael said I can't see cars, so I was like, okay, guys, what do you want from this stream? Okay, let me focus a little bit. So Jake just improved his lap time by 1 second. I am definitely expecting to see sub 2 minute times here. And yeah, also Alberti, who I was talking about earlier. Last race he was quite quick. I think he managed to qualify in P1. So I'm also expecting something good here from him. Well, at the moment also with 7/10 of improvement, which would put him into, what is it? It's gonna be P4 for the amateurs. Actually, it didn't look like it was a valid lap, or I just missed what happened. This was also, I don't know how the Lamborghini is doing on track here. 7 kilos added on the BOP. But I think Biswas is also so far ahead in the standings that it doesn't matter too much. Generally with the BOP we have the McLaren that is punished the most with 22 kilos added. And then we have the Ferrari that has minus 21 kilos. But there's roughly 4 more minutes left of the qualifying session. Yeah, this was now with 2.5 seconds. That should put him into P5 if he manages to stay with that time. I could even be P4 now. Yeah, P5. P5 for Biswas. I can see Kildare is also almost a second of improvement, but he's stuck behind someone. Especially in this downhill section. It's quite tricky. And yeah. Well, that was... I think that's an invalid lap now. Track, I would say it was a track limit. Sorry, I'm happy that I don't have to race here because I can see it with a bit less frustration than the people that are driving. It has to be 75 minutes of full focus today. Yeah, Alberti coming down to the chase now. At half a second of possible improvement. That would put him into P1 again. Yeah, and that's P1 for Alberti. What is he talking about with the project drivers? Janssens is also improving into P2 now. So except from Bora Sebastian and Justin Barnes, sorry. Everybody has moved out of this, but there's Biswas right behind him. Yeah. Also Barnes now with a valid lap. Yeah, and I think there was a bit of pressure from Biswas there. But a valid lap is a valid lap, yeah. It's going to be about patience. And I hope that the drivers are also aware of that 75 minutes is a long time, so there's no reason to actually put too much pressure, to rush too much. So current standing at the end of the qualifying, there's probably one more lap to go for some people, but we have Alberti in P1. We have Jason Janssens, that's the Ford, correct. Jason Janssens in P2. We have Jake Deschamps in P3. Thomas Wong in P4. Cole in P5. There might actually still be some changes. There's Griffith still with an improvement here, for example. I'm gonna wait until the pros are coming out. Basically everybody that crossed the start-finish line might still do the lap. No. If you can see on the right side of your screen. On the right side of your screen you can see all the pro drivers now heading out. There's Griffith, and Biswas both with an improvement at the moment. Also, they have a very similar lap time already, so Griffith goes into P5 and Biswas... he lost 2/10 on the last corner, so... Yeah, it is going to put him into P6. Yep, there we go. And then the last one is Kaliris. Still with half a second, but I think the lap is invalid. At least this is what the race control tells me. Race control, as if the people would be sitting there, you know, actually telling me what's happening. No, it's the app that I'm looking at. So I don't know if that lap is valid or not, but might be an improvement into P4. Yeah, it was a valid lap, even though the app showed me something else. Now take a little picture of the standings here. I will reference this later. In total we have 25 drivers on track, which are a bit less than for the last race. And let's see who's setting the first lap. So as I said, for the pros, for sure someone will manage to get below 2 minutes. I mean, with the actual full-time pros, the average the top 8 car average is 1 minute 58.8, and a 101% time is exactly 2 minutes and 10 milliseconds. Yeah. So, as with the last race, again, Alberti qualified in P1. And we have Jason in P2 and Jake in P3. Now let me see. We have exactly 10 pro drivers on track today. So the leader of the championship currently is Nico Weltmann. That's why we are driving with him, and we could actually take a little look onto the passenger cam here. This corner, interestingly, is called the Forest's Elbow. So the last corner there, after the downhill section of the track, is called Forest's Elbow because I learned this today. Arthur Ronald Forrest grinded his elbow off in that corner when he was riding the motorbike. So I was like, really, guys? I think it's something typically Australian, man. Also, the first corner is called Hell's Corner because there was a tree stump on the apex. Yep. And Thomas Knoppek just brought back the first sub 2 minutes lap. Everybody else, Weltmann, Eck and Hill, are still within the 2 minutes, but barely. Weltmann only by 35 milliseconds. Now let me find someone that is just heading down the hill here to Rogers with, in my opinion, still the most beautiful livery. Now into P13 with 2 minutes 2. I think it would be quite beneficial if actually the AM drivers and the pro drivers would be separated by the qualifying. Sorry. Barry Gibbons currently in P11. Davy Hill with a yellow flag, but I think he's just stopped there on the track, and we're gonna take a look at Benjamin Eck. Because that is half a second of improvement. Yeah, and that's a 59.742 for Benjamin Eck. Puts him into P1. Now also I forgot to mention we have Tomasz Knopek on the grid again, who's currently P2, but he's a wild card, so he's not, the points he's getting are not counting towards the championship of everybody. Sorry for that random jump, but sometimes when the drivers jump into the pits it gives me a yellow flag, and of course I'm a voyeurist at heart and I want to see them crashing. Am I allowed to say that as a commentator? I think I shouldn't say that. I hate when people crash. I mean, we can be happy that this is just a simulator, so actually no physical harm is done. Emotionally maybe, but physically. So Urso, sorry, I don't know what's going on today. Urso now, at the moment in P6, he is going to jump into P4 or 3. Yeah, into P4. So there's still just Kenneth Reyes, who is in P14, that is stuck in the middle of the AM drivers. I mean, Alberti and Janssens also, their times qualify them to be within the pro drivers there, so I don't really think it is a problem. I mean, it all depends on the pace and consistency, as I think I say it every race. It's quite important to just stay consistent and just finish the race without crashing exactly here. Especially here, not exactly here. Ah, but there's still 3 minutes and 45 left of qualifying. I actually thought it was a bit less already. It kind of feels like the laps are set, but so Urso now heading down Conrad Straight. Well, that's a bit of a problem there in the chase generally, because the first corner of this little chicane is really going over a little crest, so the car tends to get very light in the back. Race now almost a second, and 1 second of improvement would put him into P8, I think, right in between the two AM drivers. I think also one of the I don't think Bathurst lends itself to the AMGs, not 100% sure. Yeah, that's P10, so not right in between the AM drivers. Davy Hill, also half a second of improvement, even though I cannot see if the lap is valid or not. Yeah, that's P4. Yeah, what we can see is that P1 until P6 are all within Yeah, within a second. Within less than a second, actually. Then there's a bit of a half a second gap to Stu Rogers, but it is going to be an interesting race. Speaking of race, Kenneth Race now exactly in the hill section into Skyline, this difficult drop down through the S's with this nasty little curb in the middle. Tomasz Knopik has just taken pole with a 1 minute 59.3 into Forrest's elbow. I still see time improvements, even though there's only 20 seconds left on the clock, so I think P1 and 2 are kind of fixed. Both of them ahead, and invalid lap. Kenneth Race now in P9, so there's only Jaden Eckering that is in P12 in the middle of the AMS now. Davy Hill might still improve his position by 1 exactly, so that's Davy Hill in P3. Now we can see if Veltman can find a bit of time in the last corner. But it is not going to be enough. Nope, no change there. Nico Veltman in P4. Casseterash also... he might actually... No. Also might... No, in the end he didn't find the time. So... I think the last time I saw Knopik and Benjamin Eck in the same server, they had a very tough race for the whole time. So it might actually get quite interesting. So the qualifying is over, and in a few seconds we will go on grid and take a little look at the results here. So earlier I was saying that the AMG doesn't really lend itself to on Panorama, but Tomasz Knopik in P1 is driving an AMG, so it might actually, I just might be wrong about it. So, 1 hour and 15 minutes we are racing today. In P1 we have Tomasz Knopik on the inside lane here, or on the right side of your screen. And we have Benjamin Eck on the left side in the blue BMW. Behind him we have Davy Hill. Let me just check if there's a better perspective. It's always the same with this funny grid walk. I think I'm gonna do it like this. So the third car there, Davy Hill in the Formula Racing League livery in the McLaren, is P3, Davy Hill, and then we have Nico Veltman in the red and black Audi on the right, in the right column, in the direction of drive on the right side, in the right column. P4, Nico Veltman. Amika Seterash in P5, then Urso in P6, Stu Rogers in P7, Barry Gibbons in P8, Then Kenneth Race in P9. Then we have the leader of the AM drivers, Alberti, in P10. Then we have Jason Janssens in P11. Then we have one of the pro drivers, Aiden Eckering, in P12. We have Jake Deschamps, that is in the third position of the AM driver, in P13. And we have Thomas Wong in P14. We have Eric Griffiths in P15. Lubomir Biswas, the only Lamborghini on track, in P16. We have Daryl Cole, that should be the orange car, the orange McLaren, there in P17. We have Cora Sebastian, one of two Porsches on track, in P18. We have Dario Brems, that is the BMW, the pink and blue BMW there. Then we have Kaliris in P20, Dylan Schmidt in P21. Then we have Jeffrey Janssens in P22, Craig Lever in the Ford, the black and red Ford there, in P23. We have Lee Roll in P24, and we have Justin Barnes in P25. So the drivers are now heading out on the formation lap, getting the tires ready, taking another look at the track, and I'm gonna have a bit of water. Because I think, as you can hear today, I have a bit of a cold and my voice sounds accordingly. It is very nasal. And I need to drink more water than usual. So Mount Panorama, opened in 1938, is a 6.2 kilometers long track. It is mostly public roads actually that are closed off for racing. And, I don't know how the people that do it, that live there when there are races, how they actually get to their houses, but I guess it is possible. It has a maximum elevation change of 174 meters, which is 570 feet, and it is an anti-clockwise track, which is not surprising because it is Australia after all. Yeah, it's I think it is 19 turns. No, it's 23 turns that the track has. It's very technical. You don't get drive-throughs from the track limits because your car will be absolutely wrecked if you go off track. There are some places where it is possible to collect one, but mostly if you're off track, your car is also messed up. And messed up is a nice way to say it, I think. So the little chicane that is on this Conrad Strait was added in 1987. And also something that I realized today is that it's not called Conrad Strait because there was some guy that was named Conrad. No, it's literally like the Conrad Strait, the Conrad that you have in your motor that, you know, I don't know how to say it in English, but it's holding down the piston. So calling it Conrad Strait is, I don't know, you find some pistons at the moon, I guess, because people are going full speed down this hill. So now we're heading for the last corner. For the people that just joined us, this is Formula Racing League, and this is Masters of Assetto Corsa Competizione. We're sponsored by SimGrid Racing, and we're heading towards the start of 1 hour and 15 minutes of Mount Panorama in Australia. track temperature actually got a bit warmer than when we started the qualifying session, and I'm very excited for this race as the drivers are now turning on the last corner before the start-finish line. Now we have Tomasz Kinopek and Benjamin Eck in the lead of the race, and the last time I saw these two together it was quite tight, and we are ready to start just in a few seconds. And here we go. Tomasz Kinopek immediately takes the lead, but Davy Hill manages to get on the inside of Benjamin Eck. Now let's see what the top speed solves here. It actually looks kind of good. There's Davy Hill in the slipstream up mountain straight. Also has lost the corner position here. There was nothing major happening in the front, that's why I was looking there. Alberti has taken a position also and is now in P9, fighting with Kenneth Reyes as the drivers are heading in this uphill section for the first time. Now there's a bit of shuffling in the back, but no major changes yet. And let's see what happens now as the drivers are on the top, reaching the top of the mountain now, going into the steep downhill section. Taking a bit of a look into the midfield also here. Everything fairly clean so far, no yellow flags and no major collisions. A bit of shuffling, sorry. There's no sand here to shovel. Maybe we can see here if Janssens catches up to Alberti. That is battle for P1 in the M category. That doesn't look like a major attack here. Oh yeah, there was some issue at the start here for Nico Veldman. As if I'm not... Oh no, this was actually the starting position. Okay, no change there, sorry. I thought Veldman lost the position, but maybe I'm just too used to see him in P1 or P2. Yeah, but still we're going to go to Kassetarash and see if he manages to take the inside there. I was a bit confused of that move, but obviously everything afterwards is to the left, so it kind of made sense. Yeah, but basically the task is on this uphill mountain section to keep the gaps clean. There was a bit of a yellow flag situation with Kenneth Reyes, but I don't know. Yeah, it kind of looks. Let me take a closer look at the back of the car there. Oh yeah, who's that? We have Ekering there. Let's take a look at what happened with Ekering there. Onto the bumpy section there, and I just lost the rear a bit, not really straight on the grass. So Ekering, our first casualty of the mountain, fortunately not in a position that blocked him for a long time, and we are out of the replay as well, so that cost him, give me 1 second, cost him 11 positions though. That's a bit more yellow flags in the back here, but these were the two guys that also started all the way in the back. So yeah, Ekering at the moment, I don't think it sounds nice to say the biggest loser, but the person that lost most of the positions. So here we can see the leading cars: Kinopek, Benjamin Eck, and Davy Hill. Now at the moment Nico Veldman and Davy Hill a bit of a drag race up the hill. I'm gonna go to the helicam because we can see that Hill manages to maintain the position there. Now, and also the field is spreading out a little bit more. Into this uphill section here now, aiming for the tree on the left side of the circle. Pulling in a lot the inside of the apex here, then this flat out section on the top of the mountain. Using as much track as possible. Sometimes also grinding the wall a little bit, then into this highest point of the track. This braking zone where the car gets very light into the S's and into the dip here, left hand corner. Into Forest's elbow. Down here. Trying to keep the car very tight to the wall. Proper trail braking there. Even though it is downhill and the car gets very light in the back, it's a bit... I mean, I wouldn't say it's the most difficult corner on the track. Oh, we have Cole here. Cole also got wiped out. I think we have to go back a bit more. So the second victim of the mountain. Cole a bit... Oh, there was another one involved in this. There's two cars. Why is he sliding so far? Maybe it's a better position to stop there actually. Rolling down the hill because there's no chance you can see oncoming traffic there. And that's exactly what this place that we see right now is for, so you can actually turn around. But apparently he's still stuck on the track. Ay. We're gonna go with Veltman again for the second time already up on Mountain Straight. At least Veltman manages to keep the gap very tight in the mountain section. There's still... No, now it's Barnes. Yeah, Barnes was stuck on track but has left the server now because he would have blocked all the cars from going through, at least from the looks of it on the map. Hillier is hunting Smith. Usually here in the uphill section the gaps are getting a bit bigger, and then towards the straights or towards the downhill sections, the straight sections of the track, the gaps are getting closer again. So it's about not crashing, maintaining the gaps in the mountain section and being consistent. If I look at the lap time at the moment, the leader just had it 2 minutes, almost clear 2 minutes lap. Then there's Kenneth Race trying to pass Alberti here, but being unable to do so. Behind we can see Janssens in the Ford. So Kenneth Race is sandwiched there in between the two AM drivers. But also there in front of the red Ferrari of Alberti, you can see Gibbons. So that is still an important fight happening here. Cassetara is also on the upper mountain straight. Always in quite a good position to attack Orso, but it is not enough. Let's take another look at the sandwich situation here, and I'm just gonna go into the passenger cam for a bit into the passenger cam of Janssens, so you can actually see how close it is there on the mountain and how tricky this section is if you have people in front of you, because I mean you almost have to drive the track blind anyways. So there's 1 second, I think we'll have to go and take a look at Jake Deschamps, what happened here. Maybe, I hope, yeah, okay. hit the wall there on the last corner of the uphill section. That's unfortunate as well. Okay, we're going back to Janssens here. I think we're still in the replay at the moment. Yeah. Now in this downhill straight sections, you can also see Race there. The orange AMG right behind Alberti. This is actually not a fight for position. I mean, it is a fight for track position, but not for any kind of points, because Race, who we can see in front, is in another driver class than Alberti. Alberti is the red Ferrari that we can see. And we're gonna go with Race for a little bit to see how tight it gets now. This also looks like it is the 4th lap that we have Race behind Alberti, or it might actually be like this since the beginning of the race. Maybe I didn't pay enough attention, because Cetrash just lost the position to Urso. There's another yellow flag car here, standing on the track. I don't know where it is. In the downhill section. Hopefully they all manage to get past it. Yeah. Car is sped up again. Race picked up a little bit of damage there on the outside of elbow corner. It's not called elbow corner, it's called Forest's elbow, but it's also not because there's a forest, it's because the guy that grinded down his elbow there on the motorbike was called Forest with the second name, by second name. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure here on this train. I think in front is Stu Rogers, then we have Barry Gibbons behind, who's just turning the corner now. The white car in front there is Barry Gibbons. Then we have Alberti, the red Ferrari, that you can sometimes see. And then we have Kenneth Race, the AMG that is right in front at the moment. And we are with Jason Janssens. Yeah, but Jason seems to just hang back a little bit and see what the other drivers will figure out there in the front, because this is about to get a bit hairy. This looks like Kenneth finally manages to push by Alberti with a bit of a dive there, but I think without any contact. So now we have Alberti and Janssens that are actually fighting for position, and we have the pros and the AMs finally separated from each other. Except Jaden Eckering in P19. Who is this here? I couldn't see what car that was, but there was someone off track, or maybe even a lapped car. Well, now after the first 15 minutes... that was also close. So after the first 15 minutes we have a bit of a... Let's say the concentration is dropping. There's nothing to do there. Oh, unfortunate also for Biswas that is stuck there. So let me see where Biswas ended up. I think at the end he only lost one position due to this. Let's hope he has not too much damage. Oh, the car looks kind of fine. Oh, what happened to Jeffrey? I don't know. So let's get back to this battle here. Now there's Janssens and Alberti fighting for position. And there's Barry Gibbons that just lost 2 positions, it looks like. Not sure if I want to go back and look at it. No, I think it is more interesting what's happening here. So now it's Gibbons behind Alberti. Now basically Gibbons and Reyes changed position, and now it's Gibbons that is sandwiched in between the M drivers. So now there almost has been a crash every lap. There's been a crash every lap on the mountain. It feels like the coughing phase of my cold is starting right now, which is a bit unfortunate. Oh, it's all a bit unfortunate, huh? I am a bit surprised that Janssens is putting so much pressure now on Gibbons. I did not expect that. Gibbons in the defensive position now and also manages to maintain the position there. A bit on the... a bit on the curb there, and then another push from Janssens for Gibbons. I don't think it... I mean, that... Let's go back 15 seconds, but that doesn't look intentional to me. No, I don't think so. Unfortunate, but things like this happened a bit on the curb. The back of the car got light, and we have a yellow car. We have a yellow flag with Davy Hill as well. Let's see what happened there. Maybe go into the heli cam. A bit of contact there into Griffin's band. But if I see that correctly, no major... no, Nico Veldman went through. Yeah, Nico Veldman went through there. I'm not sure if it just happened now or if it already happened earlier. I was too focused on this train with Alberti, Janssens and Wong. Even though also there the situation seems to be settled. There's only Alberti here. There's only Alberti here, yeah, because Gibbons was sent off into the gravel. I hope he doesn't have too much damage. So many things going on at the same time. Yeah, with Gibbons, I think what happened there is that he kind of... The car got a little bit loose because he took too much curb in the chase, and then maybe he lifted off the throttle a little bit, and I don't think there was much that Janssens could do. It just gave him another push there. Alberti just passing Kenneth Reyes. I'm just gonna go back here. I didn't see that coming. It was like one car length. One car length of dive there. We will be back in the real time right now. That was a replay, but yeah, Reyes manages to maintain the position. I keep missing things. Why is it stuttering like this? This is not my game. I think this is something with Nico, because everybody else is running quite smooth. Yeah, that is a server issue. Even though I don't see any ping problems with him. But I have never seen that before in my life. those. Yeah, probably that's why he passed 2 people within the last 5 minutes. Even though Benjamin Eck and Davy Hill, both of them had quite difficult rounds. I'm just gonna make a mark here because I want to check their standing time in the pits. But it was a 2 minutes 4 for Eck and 2 minutes 8 for Hill, so I assume there was some collision. Now I am actually getting a little bit worried about my game. Here it's running fine. Janssens is off. I really don't know what just happened there, but Janssens is... I mean, this I saw, but I don't know what's going on with my game. Because there's Nico Weltman that is like this, and then there's Benjamin Eck like this as well. And I can take a look at Davy Hill. I might try, if it gets worse, I might try to leave and rejoin the server to see if I fix this. Oh, but all the gaps in between the cars are now above a second. I don't know if it maybe is still liveries that are causing this issue. I'm not sure. I've also never seen this before. Yeah, but there must have been an issue with Egg and Hill because they're back to normal lap times again. So we have Tomasz Knopek still in the lead. Behind him we have Nico Weltman that is giving me a little bit of a slideshow here with almost 10 seconds of a gap. And then we have Benjamin Eck with 1.4 seconds gap behind Nico Weltman. Then we have Davy Hill in P4 with 3 seconds of a gap. Now it's them. This is so strange, I'm sorry. If I look at the helicam, I just had the other 2 drivers in front and they were looking a bit like a slideshow and Hill was not. And then we have Cassette Rush behind Hill in P5. And we have Urso in P6, 2 Rogers in P7. Alberti still P1 of the M drivers. Then we have Kenneth Reyes and Barry Gibbons in P9 and 10 respectively. And we have Thomas Wong, who now took over the P2 of the M drivers. Very tight behind Barry Gibbons. I'm going to take a look at the starting position. Yeah, he started in P4. Then we have Janssens, who started in P2. Now in P3 of the M drivers. If I'm talking about the positions, you have to take a look at the left side. I think it might be easier to follow me. Now at the moment you can see that the number 12 is highlighted, so basically the leader of the M drivers is Alberti in P8. Then we have T Wong, currently 0.8 seconds behind Barry Gibbons. And then we have Jason Janssens in P3 of the M drivers. So that are the red number plates. Then we have Jaden Eckering, that is also giving me a little bit of a slideshow here. Yeah, I just hope that... Did you hear that? It sounded like a shot glitch, and I'm just changing through the drivers here. If they all give me the stutters. Here you can see what I meant earlier, you know, there's Brems that is completely stable, and then in front of him we have this glitching. Tom, did you also hear that loud banging sound? Yeah, for me it wasn't that incredibly loud, but I'm just gonna rejoin the server, guys. Give me 1 second, because I don't want it to be an issue on my side. I mean, probably it has to be, but the game is running stable. Internet is also stable. Give me a second. No, Tom, I'm fine, don't worry. So let me see if it's still doing what it was doing. I lost a bit of statistics now because I restarted. I had to restart the software as well. Yeah, no, that looks much better. What I'm surprised now is that I see some people already went to the pits. So we have most of the GTR drivers, if I'm not. We have Schmidt here. We have Eckering that, okay, he obviously had to pit because he crashed. He was the first victim of Mount Panorama today. Yeah, so at least I solved the glitching cars, so it was my game in the end. So 47 minutes to go, half an hour of racing done. Some people were already in the pits, but I also assume that these were the people that crashed already. Now Janssens is quickly catching up to Wong. So that's a battle for P2 in the M category. Now in the downhill section into Forest Elbow. And now out on the... Yeah, that actually looks very good. I'm going to take a look here at this battle on Conrad Strait. Yeah, okay. And that looks like a very successful overtake there. But it looked very friendly because Janssens also pulled back a little bit right before the little kink that we have there. On Conrad Strait there's a little kink before heading into the chicane, and of course if you insist on being on the inside there, it might be that both of you crashed, so that's why I do appreciate it. So we are with Benjamin Eck in the BMW there, who's hunting down Veltman. Veltman, who started in P4 and is now currently in P2, because there has been some issue between Eck and Hill apparently. I'm not sure what happened there. Looking at the high speed, sorry, on the, what do you say, on the top speed of the cars, sorry. Looking on the top speed of the cars, we have the Ferrari of Alberti with 288 kilometers an hour. And actually Knopping and Veltman, P1 and P2, are quite slow with 283 kilometers per hour. But since I left the server, might be that they were quicker before, but that's a 5 kilometers per hour speed advantage by Benjamin Eck there. And I don't really believe this is true, to be honest. As I said earlier, this is really about not crashing and being consistent. Not getting any track limits. Which is the same, not crashing and not getting track limits. It's not exactly true. I'm going to show you a bit later on the next lap. I can show you where you can pick up some track limits. I think there's 2 places, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, it's just a funny way to say, if I'm not wrong. Oh, there's Nico heading into the pits, alright. A bit of a shorter first stint. So now I'm going to show you, give me 1 second, I'm going to go to the passenger cam. I think one of the places that you can pick up a track limit is here on the left side. If you go too wide onto the wall here. I'm not sure though. That doesn't look like a place where you can pick up a track limit. I think you can. And then there's another one. Or at least you can invalidate your lap without hitting the wall, which is a track limit, isn't it? And then the other place I think is over here. No? Or here. In one of these 2 places you can pick up a track limit. In theory also here, but then I mean that's not something accidental in this case. Also here this braking zone is extremely difficult because the brake balance has to be set up exactly right and the ABS has to be set up exactly right, because otherwise you just understeer. Yeah, you just understeer into the wall on the other side of the track, and that's let's say it's a bit uncomfortable. Also here a lot of negative camber on that corner, so the rear of the car quite easily wants to step out. It wants to slide. I don't know if stepping out is the right word. Today I'm questioning a lot. I'm questioning my cold, and I'm questioning my English a lot more than usual. So I can already see some blue flags here. Let me see who's who. Yeah, I think that's Schmidt here that is blue flagged. And these are all TTR drivers. Oh, happening there. Clearys and Hill are pitting. Sorry, this is actually what I should be focusing on. So if I remember correctly, just to recapitulate, we had Knoppek, then we had Nico Veltman, then we had Benjamin, and then we had Hill. Now Hill and Veltman decided to pit. And maybe now coming out from the pits. No, it doesn't look like Nico Veltman. Nico Veltman has a lot of free track in front of him, so I'm not sure if he actually will benefit from this. Exactly, these are the people that we were just looking at. And then Hill is probably going to come out. Take a look at the standing time there. He's already stopped for 52 seconds. The normal time stopped is 32 seconds, so these are definitely some repairs going on. 20 seconds of repairs for Hill, and that will definitely cost him some positions on track. Yeah, Veltman just exactly with 32 seconds stopped, so normal standing time there. Knoppek has not been in the pits yet, and Eck has also not been in the pits. So with Hill we had a standing time of 52 seconds. I'm just gonna note this down here. Now there's Veltman's sandwich now in between two of the TTR drivers, even though Schmidt behind him is blue flagged and Wong in front of is not. Yeah, but Veltman is catching up very quick there. Gibbons now also in the pits. Hill manages to gain back a position, a virtual position from Sebastian there. Gibbons still in the pit. Veltman in P9 at the moment, but I think everybody in front of him has not pitted yet, so there's Heteraj at the moment in P2 after the pits, and there's Davy Hill in P4, depending on where. No, Davy Hill in P3, because Gibbons just went into the pits. You cannot see it on your screen yet, but I can see it. I can see into the future, basically, looking at my software here. Oh, we have a crash on the mountain. That's Brems. Well, I mean, thank you, TV camera. Oh yeah, there he is. What's the position there? Okay, he's in a bit of a safe spot, but that's Barnes. Eckering going through Schmidt there as well. I think Barnes went through, if I saw that correctly. So two cars now in this downhill section. Let me see. Okay, they're safe. Who's gonna come up behind them? So Sebastian is through. Jansen's now coming up. There's still Schmidt standing there. Oh, yellow flags, yellow flags. No, I think the situation is solved. Yeah, Brems just returned to the pits. The situation on the mountain was solved. Yeah, we are kind of waiting for Knoppek and Eck to go into the pits. at the moment their lap times are still quite consistent. 1 second slower though than in the beginning of the race, which is quite good. So now Hill also came out of the pits. Now that should be P4. No, it's P3 for Hill at the moment. Yeah, Knopek is in the pits now. I mean, I don't think that except he has some massive time to repair, which I don't think he has, because I haven't seen him crash or anything. I think that he should maintain P1. Now Benjamin Eck continues to drive. If everything goes well, then Knopek should start within the next 5 seconds. Right about now. Yeah. So that's a completely normal pit stop for Knopek, so that means he will stay in the lead of the race. As you can see on the left side of your screen, all the people that have the little green marking there did their mandatory pit stop. Egg now with a bit of traffic. Who is it in front? It's Janssens in front. That is blue flag, but obviously on the whole mountain there's not really a simple place to let another driver pass, even though you have the blue flag. And now both of them in the top speed composition in a top speed competition here. Yeah, and that's that blue flag there. Wonderful. Kenneth Reyes managed to close the gap to Stu Rogers. There's Alberti that just gave me a yellow flag, or was it Gibbons? One of the two. Something happened there, but we're gonna stay with Kenneth Reyes for now. And I'll have to keep an eye on Eck as well when he goes into the pits. Ooh, both of them blue flagged, yeah? Looks like that. Ah, they slot themselves through. Ay. Kenneth Reyes going into the pits now. I'm just reading the chat messages of earlier again. Like, we can't see the cars. I'm sorry. Actually, that's interesting, because Zetarash managed to gain a position on Davy Hill and actually overtake him. But that must be the standing time there. Yeah, Zetarash with a 32-second stops and Davy Hill with 20 seconds of repairs. I mean, Ah, that sucks. That sucks. Now let me take another look at the overall gap. Let me check gap to leader, because I think that yeah, I can imagine that Nopek actually takes the lead again, but I don't think that Benjamin Eck will have so much damage on his car, or that he will have to he will repair the damage, that Veltman can take any position there. I find it very unlikely, even though I'm impressed by that driving. By the driving of Benjamin Eck, because technically he just drove the best lap time. His best lap time. It's not the quickest of the race, but after almost an hour of driving, that's quite something. No, that's still the closest gap here with Griffith and Wong. You can see the McLaren in front. What a drive, overtaking on the blue flag car on the outside there. Guys, give me 1 minute, I will be right back. In a few minutes, I will be right back. So the commentator also took did his mandatory pit stop. Did anything happen? Yeah, Griffith either overtook... Yeah, no, he overtook Wong. I'm fairly confident about that. He was behind him earlier. Now we're watching Gibbons. Also, these two have seen each other already in the opposite position. Earlier it was kind of the race behind Gibbons, but Gibbons now obviously missed the mark a little bit, missed the braking mark a little bit, and went wide there into Hell's Corner. Hell's Corner, it is called because originally there was a tree stump on the apex, and people said, you know, who dies doing a folly deed or something like this goes straight to hell. So they were like, okay, if a motorbiker dies there because he hits his tree on the stump, then that means he's going straight to hell, because that's a stupid act, and that's why it's called Hell's Corner. I don't know, it's yeah, it's the Australians being funny, I guess. I mean, it's these two corners that actually made me laugh when I read about it. Hell's Corner with a tree stump, and the other one, Elbow's Corner, no, Forrest's Elbow, because the guy was called Forrest, and he grinded down his elbow in that corner. I think I keep repeating myself, but I just find it hilarious. Now we're also getting into some of the traffic issues here. Today again we also have a lot of the TTR racers, Team Tracks Racing team on track again. I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. So Ursu, Egg and Rogers, the only ones that didn't do their pit stops yet. Which is actually quite interesting, because that means basically Knopek is 40 seconds behind Egg. So that means after the pit stops it will be 32 seconds. So Egg only has a... I mean only, it's still a 32 seconds lead, but it's not that much. And also something I missed. Something I missed as well is when Knopek overtook Veldman. Because I think before the pit stops there was Veldman being in P2. Knopek now making good time, apparently. Yeah, also was also... traffic. Everybody's jumping aside for P2 and P3. But Urso is also 2 seconds, almost 3 seconds slower than Knopek, so I don't think it's worth battling there. But it's not up to me to decide that. Yeah. And that's how it is done. Oops, who's that with the yellow flag there? Lever. So, but I don't think from this incident earlier that I didn't see that Eck and Hill had a lot of time. No, that Eck has a lot of damage to the car. And if he has, I don't think he will repair it if he keeps driving like this. It's 19 minutes left. So it will be quite a short second stint there. Rogers in the pits. So only 2 drivers that have their pit stops open, Eck and Corsa. Tom wanted to have him on board. I will give it to you later, Tom. Give me 1 second. Or give Barry a second to catch up to race, and then we can see what happens. What is also interesting is that we are looking at the P10 here of the race overall, and behind him, only with 1.7 seconds, is already the leader of the race. Let's see. It is very difficult to overtake here on the upper part of the hill, so I think maybe closing the gap a little bit. So now we have the leader of the race already behind. You can see Benjamin Eck there in the blue BMW. So Eck passed Gibbons. Well, let's see if Race manages to find a place to leave some room now here on the uphill climb or on the top section of the mountain. I don't believe it really is easily possible. It's always a bit difficult. But obviously Benjamin Eck cannot lose. Ay. A lot of seconds here. Well, maybe that was worth a try to let him pass, but that didn't work. Yeah, Egg already flashing the lights because he lost already 3 seconds behind race. And just from a strategic perspective, he cannot lose more than another 6 seconds. Yeah, but that was okay. That was okay, so now we're back on the battle between Gibbons and Race. Urso still needs to pit, and X still needs to pit, which is an interesting choice to drive such a long stint. Now already over an hour of driving on the same tires. But Urso would probably be in, let me do what I cannot do so well, is mathematics. Yeah, he should be in P6 also. So in the M category we still have Alberti leading the race here. And then we have Janssens in P2, which is also the starting position. Then we have Griffith, who started in P5. We have Wong that started in P4, who's now still in P4. We have Biswas, who started in P6, that is now in P5. Just as a little update on the M category. Is now the times here look very much like endurance racing. Look very much like endurance racing already, because there are not too many gaps. Rams crashed. I don't want to say again, but I feel this is a familiar sight. I think I've seen him in a similar position already today, and now he's also difficult to get out of this. Who's the next one coming up? It's Cole that will come, and Eckering. Oh, there's Kenneth Reyes also. I think there was more damage for Kenneth Reyes there. That might actually help Gibbons to finally overtake. And yeah, Rams is moving again with a heavily damaged car. Let me take a look. Yeah, the windshield is also damaged. So now possibly a better chance for Gibbons. I mean, just assuming that Reyes took more damage there. And while all this was happening, Benjamin Eck was in the pits and also lost He was stopped for 12 seconds only. Because the refueling time was not fixed. That is also an oversight on my side, I think. Because he was only stopped for 12 seconds, so that means either my game is glitching or the refueling time wasn't fixed. And also I made another mistake earlier. Of course, the total time in pit is more than 32 seconds. It is about 1 minute. So without this, there was actually quite some risk there in managing to stay in P1 after the pit stops. So after the pits now, Thomas Knoppek with 1.8 seconds behind Benjamin Eck. Very good and still working on overtaking race. Eckering with an stop and go 30 penalty. But race definitely not lacking any top speed from that collision earlier. So let's see if the motivation now is high. We have Stu Rogers in a crash. I was just about to say that Alberti is there, Race is there. Let me take a look at who's coming up behind. Kenneth Ray is now heading into the... Oh, I just want to scream. Guys, the road is blocked. The road is blocked. The road is blocked. There's nothing you can do here. 2, 3, Jansen's coming up now. Okay, that looks like the road is clear. I have no idea what happened there. I just saw yellow flags. Also, Reyes and Gibbons managed to make it through there quite well. Knoppek gained on Benjamin Eck, so that is the battle for the race lead, even though Knoppek is a wild card and is not counting to the actual standings. Both of them making their way through traffic. Yeah, it's just a bit frustrating that the whole calculation that I was doing in the race earlier was completely misled when I said, okay, they only have to stop for 30 seconds. Of course, the time that they spend in pits is exactly 1 minute, or about 1 minute. And that's why the race was actually much tighter between Eck and Knoppek already during the time that Eck didn't go into the pit, but I messed it up. I'm sorry for that. And Gibbons still. Yeah, Urso is also in the pits now, so that's the last person that has to stop. I think Rogers is in the pits for repairs. Now there's two battles that I'm looking at right now, and that's Barry Gibbons versus Kenneth Race. And then there's Thomas Knoppek fighting for P1 also. Oh, 4 more minutes to go. And I don't know where the leader is at the moment. Yeah. So that should be exactly 2 laps for the leading group here for these two. You can see them here heading up the mountain straight. After this lap, it's only 1 more lap to go. The gap is currently 0.4 seconds in between P1 and P2. Let me see if some traffic is coming up. There's a bit of... There's the 2 Janssens coming up actually, right in front. Towards the end of the lap, they should encounter... No, they already encountered now some traffic. Oi. A little bit of a push there by Knoppek. So this is Knoppek and Egg side by side. Now it looks like Knoppek is ahead, but Egg on the better line on the inside of this little kink before the chase. Very close together. Knoppek on the inside line now manages to make the overtake stick. 1 more lap to go. So that's a new race leader there. The wild card though. So the leader is on the final lap, and the leader is Knoppek now. As I said in the beginning of the stream, the battle between these two was legendary already the last time. Now, due to some strategic differences, it was not as visible as it was last time, but it's still tight racing. And there's still Gibbons behind Race. And actually Race only gained that position with a little tap on the back of Gibbons in an unfortunate situation, so that's why we have this constellation. Not 100% certain that Knoppek would have managed to make that pass in the last lap without that little love tap there in the elbow. But the clock is running out now. Don't know if anyone else is going to pass the finish line. Yeah, some people are. So the winner of this race will be Tomasz Knopek, our wild card, and then Benjamin Eck in P2. Technically P1 in the pro standing. Behind him, Nico Veltman. Just take a look here. Davy Hill is still trying to pass Urso, who got into that position after his pit stops. Yeah, so Davy Hill, no. I was about to say he gains another position. I mean, that would be one way to do it, but that's not the case. And let's take another look here. Yeah, so Urso in P5, Davy Hill P6, Alberti still in a bit of a mess. I don't know who that was echoing again. Ay. So Alberti here. This is not a fight for position. I don't think it is. No. So Alberti coming in as the winner of the AM drivers. Kenneth Reyes and Barry Gibbons have a bit of a shamble again there. Let me just take a little look what happened there. Okay, Kenneth Reyes went off track. That would have been the chance for Gibbons to go through. Ay. It was such a tight clean racing in between these two. So that is Kenneth Reyes in P7 and Barry Gibbons in P8. And those are all the drivers back. So the winner of the race is Tomasz Knopek. Then there's Benjamin Eck in P2, Nico Veltman in P3, Amika Setarash in P4, Urso in P5, Alberti in P1 of the M drivers, P6 for Kenneth Reyes, P7 for Barry Gibbons. Then there's Janssens in P2 for the AMs, Griffith in P3 for the AMs, Wong in P4, Biswas in P5, Delirious in P6 and Cole in P7. Yeah, that Michael, that rejoin was a bit messy, I would say. But I'm not the person to judge. So guys, after almost 2 hours of stream and 1 hour and 15 minutes of race, I wish you a pleasant evening and see you again next week on, let me just take a look at the calendar where we are next week. I'll be doing the stream again next week on Paul Ricard, our favorite rainbow map. Have a good evening and see you around next week.